Okay, everybody, as soon as you have your workspace set up or found a good spot to work, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is remove the cap on your pen. You actually will never use that again, so if you want to throw it away, that's fine. And then you are going to remove the ink cartridge here from the pen. So we're going to pull gently. You might need to get a tweezers or use your fingernail, and you're going to actually remove that part of the pen. Okay, if this part starts to pop out, just push it right back into place. Okay, so out of your bag of clay, your 6 pieces, it's going to take you approximately 2 of the bars to cover the whole pen. Before you start working and getting your clay ready to use, you might want to choose the color that you want or colors you want to use for the main background of your pen. You choose from, you're all going to need to soften your clay. So to get it in working condition, you got to get it moving in your hands. And you can see I'm pressing pretty hard on this because it's been sitting for a while. And I'm just going to get it, the more I'm moving it around, the more it's picking up the warmth from my hands. And I'm just going to heat it up to get it movable. So that might take you a few minutes to get your clay working. All right, so now that I got my clay, my green, like mint green bar here ready and soft, I'm gonna start actually like rolling it out on the surface, and I'm working on the table. I didn't even cover this table at all. Working at home, you're probably gonna wanna cover your surface. You might wanna use aluminum foil and then tape it down to your work surface so it doesn't move. So you're going to notice I'm just rolling out what we call a coil, okay? And I'm making it somewhat pretty skinny. You can see according to even like my pinky finger, it's pretty thin, okay? Then I'm going to find something that I have at home, plastic knife, something like old credit card, or a grocery card that's thin so you can slice it. And I'm going to start slicing it in pieces so that I can get a number of individual pieces to work with. And you're going to notice I'm cutting them pretty small. I'm going to actually form them into these little circles, a little bead of clay like that. And that's what I'm going to use. So before I start placing those pieces on, you have a choice on whether or not you want to remove this portion of your pen. That's fine if you want to do that. You can also keep it in place. Some people put their clay all the way up to the edge. I prefer to put it all the way up to the straight edge here, just because occasionally in ones that I've made where you put the clay all the way up to the edge, I have had, once you put the ink back in, I have had the clay crack right at the edge. So just be aware of that. So you can keep it in place and still stop at this edge if you want. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to start at the back end of the pen, and I'm just going to start putting a clay piece on the end, and I'm going to just slowly kind of work, and they might come off. That does get a little frustrating at times when they start to come off. So the less you can like touch them, the better once you get them to stick. If you kind of go back over them with your hand a lot, they start to get warm, and that's when they pick off. So the reason I'm putting these on here is so that you can see the approximate spacing from where I set them. So now you can see I'm done placing my pieces on. I have about this much left from 2 bars. Otherwise, I have no more mint green left. One thing you're going to notice, when I started, I was putting my pieces really close together. I started spreading them out more and more as I realized I wasn't going to have enough. So it's okay if there are bigger spaces in between, and that's where this will come in handy too. So right now, all I'm going to do is put some pressure on it, and I'm going to roll it gently between my 2 hands against the table. And just by pressing, you're going to see how it's all of a sudden starting to close up the gaps. So I'm just going to check. This area seems a little thinner over here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more, and you really don't need a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit more blue there, just to make sure it gets covered. Same thing on the edge here. And then I'm gonna re-roll it. And I am not pressing hard, okay? Not pressing hard at all. And then I'm going to clean up the edge and just make sure that we have a nice edge. There's no clay inside there. So now I just basically have my pen covered. Now I can decide if I'm going to add in some fun details and decorations.